This is Irontrader, and this is Sunday night. So I'm going to take a look here at crude oil, WTI, and Brent. We'll take a look here at natural gas, gold, silver, and we'll take a look at Bitcoin. And the Nasdaq futures right now are down about 280. Could be a good buying opportunity. We'll have to see. All right, this video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation of advice on stock market ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Alrighty, here we have crude oil, WTI, and Brent side by side. Look at that, eh? Pretty not too bad. Now, Friday, I took off my short, the SCO, because going into the weekend, like I told you, you have no idea what you're doing, or what they're doing, I should say, as far as the Straits of Hormuz. This is a very, very unstable situation, and I don't think it's going to get any better anytime soon. So I'm always calling here for this. I know a lot of people want to hear it, but higher for longer with the old crude oil. Okay, now you can see here on crude oil, here what we did WTI, we made as low as 78.97, came all the way down here. So we were looking right to the left of the chart here. You had 78.24. That was your support level. Okay, so all we'd have to do is just follow those candles all the way down until we hit that 100 SMA. Now, what we have is so far it's the inside day, but the market's been open 2 minutes. So what we're looking for is Friday's high at 90.34. Now, your big target's going to be right up here at that 92.61. Okay, so if we get about above that 92.61, we're going to be looking right here at 93.30. We're going to come right there at 95.44. Then here's the big boy at 97.12. Now, if it keeps moving up here, this is what we got. We got 142. We have 102.70, and then we'll come right to the top of this candle here at 105.63. Now, again, we just follow the candles up until we hit 117, but right now we just have to deal with the 8-day and the 21-day, that whole situation. But realistically, we're looking at what is going to happen with Friday's high. Now, here on the downside, we're going to be watching the bottom of this candle here at 86.96, and then we have your 50-day at 84.88. Now, we start losing that level there. Well, then we're going to come down here to right there. We'll be looking at the bottom of this candle here. You're looking at 81.79 level. We come down here. You're looking at 81.19, and then we go here. That's 78.97. That was Friday's low, and then obviously we can work right down to your 100 SMA here. But right now, let's just see how this all shakes out here. Now, again, one day does not make a market. But again, putting on leaving a short on was just not to trade. Okay, you have to go and we had to, take that bad boy off here. And now we'll see at 8 o'clock. We can see, if we want to jump into UCO, or we can jump back in a short position at a lower price. Okay, now look at Brent. Brent came right on down here. We held this the 50-day on a closing basis, very, very nice. On the WTI, we came right there, right pretty much at that 50 SMA here, okay? But this one held it very, very nicely. Now you can see here, we're back above this 8-day, which is actually looking better than WTI. Okay, so this is going to be your key support level right here. It's going to be this 95.74. That's going to be very, very key. Now, if we lose that, we'll come right to the bottom of this candle, 94.42 level, okay? You can see how nice that is all the way across. All we do is just follow the bottom of the candle. You can see how nice it's holding. Now, if we lose that, well, we'll come down here to the bottom here. You're looking at 91 flat. And then we have that 89.97. That's going to be your 58 SMA. Now, we lose that right here. Friday's low, 86.08. Then we'll come to the bottom of this candle here at 83.88. We have 81.16 level. We just keep following it down. 80.30 level. Okay, we come down here at 77.37. And then we're looking right here at that 76.68 level. Okay, now, we do have a downtrending situation. We have this double top situation, okay, and then we tried to rally up here. We had a bear flag, came right on down, but we are seeing. So we have a high, lower high, lower high, lower high, and so far a lower high, okay? But we don't know what's going to go on. The whole war, that's a whole big, like the old Joker card. You know what I'm saying? So right now here on the upside, we're looking for, obviously, is we're looking to Friday's high. That's going to be key, 98.97. Then we'll come right on top of this candle here. We're looking at 99.84 level. And then here's the big boy that we're looking for right here is this 101.37. That is your 21-day. Now, that's going to be very, very strong because look what happened here. Popped right in there and then came right on down. Popped right up here, came right on down. So that's going to be very, very key on the upside, 101.37. Now, obviously, we can get above that. Then we just come right to the top here, looking at 103.86 level. We venture up here to 105.90. We have 106.96, and we come all the way to 110, obviously 111, and we work our way up to 115 and then back up to the 119. But right now here, let's just see how this all shakes out, okay? So basically, this is what we're trading against, that 95.72. We lose it, we'll be looking for that 50 SMA here, and then basically that 86.06 retest. Upside, we follow the candles up, especially Friday's high, 98.97. We'll come up there 98.984. But this is what we're looking for, is that 21-day simple moving average. Now, we look at here, 45. You can see how we're curling right back up here. The green is below red because you can see where the momentum is to the downside, and that's exactly what we had. Here we had the momentum there to the downside. That was half, but that doesn't mean that can't curl right back up here again. 49, you got plenty of room to run. But see, this is all about that war situation, okay? So don't have an opinion. Say, I'm going to go out short, I'm going to go out long. Just trade this market. Just watch these simple moving averages and just trade it. Okay, let's take a look here now at natural gas. Okay, here we have natural gas. Now you can see here, now we hit this bottom of 2.56. What I was looking for here is the bottom right there at that 2.51, but didn't quite make it there. Okay, now again, if it loses that 256, then we're looking for 251. We're looking for 2.45 level, and then we come down here to that 2.40, and then we can venture all the way down here to 221 and maybe 187 and maybe even 152. But right now, it looks like it's getting himself a little bit of Joe's here. Okay, so really what you're watching here is this 8-day. We need to hold this 2.65. That's going to be very, very key. Let me see if I can just big that up there for you. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this is what we're looking for, is that 8-day, that 2.65. So you can see now we hit that 2.56. Then we bounce up here, we hit 257, and then we're just venturing right on up here. So this is going to be very, very key support, 2.65. We lose that, we'll come right here at 262, and then we have 2.58. Then we'll be looking for that 256. Then if we lose that, then we can go down here, down to your bottom here to your 251 level. Okay, now let's just take a look here what's going on the upside here. See, very, very nicely. So what we're looking here for, we're going to be looking at the top of this candle as 2.72. That's going to be key. And then we venture up here. We have basically 2.74. But this is what we're going to be looking for, is this 280. That's going to be very, very key. Now, I know on the once we get above that, right here, this 8-day is going to be very, very critical at 2.91, which is just basically right between here and that 50 SMA. That's going to be very, very key, because look how strong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. We'll see what happens this week. So far below that key 8 SMA. But once we get above that, then we come up here to that 280 level. Okay, what do we have here? We have a 296 level. Then we come all the way up here right there. This is going to be a really nice target at that 326. Then we have 349. 345 is just right below that, and we have 347. But right now, this looks like this bottom possibly could be in, and we're riding up here very, very nicely. So let's just see how this is all going to shake out here. But bottom line here, you want to watch that 8-day on the downside. That's going to be very, very key. And we want to watch that 21-day on the upside. We crack that. There's your target, is that 8-day. And we got to get above that. And then we have that 50-day. Then we can venture up to your 200-day, and we even have your 100 SMA above that. Now, you're sitting at a 41. That's plenty of room to go up there. This is sideways action. This is way at the bottom, which is very good. 42, plenty of room to run. So I think natural gas here could be a good, really trade. So I'll be watching here the UNG here tonight at 8 o'clock, and we'll see how that's going to be shaken out there. Okay, let's take a look here now at gold. Okay, here we have gold. Now, you can see here how it's coming off a little bit, because this is all with the war situation, okay? So there's a couple factors that I was pointing out here. Number one was this 8-day. That was very, very key. I got a little bit above that here on the Friday action, but you can see where we're right into it. Now, your next big target is going to be right there, is that 49.10, and you can see here we made 49.17 there on Friday's candle, okay? Now we're sitting here. We got to hold this 8-day. This is going to be very, very key, okay? So this is what you're watching, is 48.09. That's going to be very, very key, okay? Now, we have two things that we want to watch here, 47.94, and we want to watch 47.46. That's going to be very, very key. These two key levels here on a closing basis by Friday situation, okay? Now, again, we lose that. We have this right here. You got 47.24, and then we have your 21-day at 46.73 level, okay? So right now, we just have this sideways consolidation. Now, eventually, I think, they're going to get a peace agreement here, because I don't know how long you can keep on working this here with this race Hormuz, but maybe it was just like on a Friday, it was just like a, kind of like a sucker deal. Okay, we signed a peace agreement here, put all your ships in a Strait of Hormuz, and then they decide they're going to bomb them. Okay, so this could get really, really ugly, really, really fast, and I think everything's going to be selling off here except for crude oil, okay? So again, on the upside, this is what you're really watching, is we're going to be watching the top of this candle here at that 48.61 and then that 49.10. We got to crack above it. Now you can see the price channel maybe possibly wanted to curl back up here, but if you get above that 49.10 level, then we can venture right up here. That's your next target, 5022, and we come up here, 51.32, and then we come up here, 52.48. We venture left, 52.99, and we come all the way up to that 54.34 level. Okay, now I got to be a little bit careful here because we still have that possible bear flag because we did not close above that 8 SMA here. Okay, that's the key. We did not close above it. So if you take this here into stride, okay, we just didn't close above it. However, we have a bottoming tail there, and we have a bottoming tail there, and we have an uptrending chart. The key is we got to hold that key 8 SMA here, this 100-day and that 21-day. So that's what we're trading with on the downside. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm waiting for a setup. Okay, I'm going to be very, very patient. I'm waiting for a setup. If it holds this 8-day and it holds this 8-day and 21-day here on your weekly chart, that could be a good buying opportunity of GLD to take it right back up here and retest that 49.10. Well, if we break out above that, then I know we're above all the simple moving average. Then we have a lot of room to run all the way on up. Now, RSI, this is only 51. That's not overbought, oversold here. The green is still red. Okay, over here, the green looks like it's still curl up. 57, this is not bad. Okay, you got plenty of room to run. So again, just be a little bit patient with this if you're trading this here, like on long side, like what I do. Okay, let's take a look here at silver. Okay, here we have silver. Now you can see here how silver here is looking actually very, very good. Okay, so you had that possible bear flag situation, but now what we have here is this is what we're looking for, that 82.76. We made 83.24. Okay, so we made a nice, good higher high, and that's always good. Okay, now what we need to do is got to hold right here. It's got to hold that 78.32 level, and you got to hold that 76.57 on a weekly basis by Friday. Now you can see where the 8-day crossed over that 21-day. That's not good. Okay, unless it holds it, it can curl right back up here again. So you got to be a little bit patient with what that is. But if we look on the daily chart here, this is still looking pretty good here because we may had that little bit of a topping thing, trying to a breakout, and it didn't quite break out. We're just kind of like holding this situation, but we're holding the 50-day. So this is going to be very key. Okay, 79.08. We want to hold that level. Your next level is going to be right here. It's going to be 8-day at 78.11, and then right below that we have 77.61, and then we have your 21-day down there at 74.13 level. So right now this is holding all these simple moving averages on the daily and the weekly chart, which is always very good. Now when you look at this, okay, this has plenty of room to run. You're only at 54, and we have a good uptrending chart. Now, on the upside here, we want to crack that Friday's high, that 83.24 level. Okay, if we do, then we can come right on top of this candle, that 79, what do we have there? Yeah, 83.24 level. Then we want to come up here. We want to have that 85.62, and then we have 87.69, and we can venture all the way up here to that 90.38, just bring that price channel right across. Now, we get above that. Then we have this nice one at 91.60 level. Come up here, we have 91.98. 94.76, and nice big retest there at 97.30. Now, I don't know if we're going to be hitting up that 121 level, but I really think we could retest this here, this 97. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but I think eventually here that's going to be a nice, good target on the upside. So bottom line, watch that 50-day, okay? That's going to be key. Watch that 8-day, watch that 100-day here, and then watch that 21-day. That's going to be very, very key support levels here. On the upside, just watch Friday's high, that 83.24. You got to crack through that before we can go higher. Okay, let's take a look here now at Bitcoin. Okay, now Bitcoin was doing pretty good here, but just like I showed you, okay, this is what we're watching, is this 21 SMA. So I always say, watch the reaction when it gets there, okay? So I hope you pay attention to that, because what it is, we made that high of that 78.54 level, and now we're sitting right down below that. We went right into the 21-day, okay? So you got to be a little bit careful here. Now by Friday, we need to at least hold this key 8 SMA at 71.65, okay? So this is why you trade the charts. When you see it going into it, that's when you got to, sell some off the trade, because you're going to have to buy back up here once we start getting above that 21-day. Now, here we have this 100-day, which is sitting right here too. Didn't quite make it to that 100-day, which is basically 79.360, 366 now. Okay, so now you can see here we sold off, but this is that whole war situation. But we're hanging right around that 8-day at 74.475. Now we gotta hold that level. If not, we come down here. We have that, watch that 71.51. But really, your next target is going to be that 71.199. And then we have right below that, we have that 50-day at 70.045 level. Okay, so we have a lot of good support here if it comes down. Now, you can see how that 8-day was holding it here very, very nicely. But if it comes down, I always call that 21-day the catch-all. So it could catch that 21-day and then rally right back up again. Okay, so don't give right up here. Give up here on the old Bitcoin. But again, right here, okay, 78.473. So I took my trading position off of your Bitcoin because we went right into this. Now 8 o'clock, I can fire that BITX right back up here again if we start rallying up here, or I can jump into BITI if I want to do a short. Okay, didn't do anything over the weekend because you got to understand these weekends are very, very delicate because we're dealing with some really, really rough circumstances there in the Straits of Hormuz. Okay, and we're dealing with some really, really unstable situation. Okay, so always remember that. Peace agreement signed, that doesn't mean dick, okay? That doesn't mean absolutely anything because obviously we just seen exactly what had. You have a peace agreement on Friday, and then all of a sudden now we're attacking you here on Saturday, okay? So bottom line here on the upside, you want to watch the top of this candle here, 76,190. We want to definitely watch this right here at that 478 level. This is going to be key where we get above it. Then we can start attacking right there, that 79,367. Then we can come right up here, 79.66. There's your gap. And then there's your fill at 81,210 level. Then obviously we just keep following it all the way on up here till we hit that 88 level. But right now, okay, if we lose that 8-day, we're going to lose that nice uptrend situation. Okay, so just remember that. We're going to lose that uptrend. That's not going to be good, okay? Because then what we're going to do is we're going to head right down to the 21-day. Then we have to start this process here all over again. Now, RSI, we didn't really get to an overbought situation. Now we're curling down. The green is still over your red. I like this here. This is still a bottoming situation. This is still a bottoming situation. But by Friday, watch that 71.81. Gotta hold that. If not, we're going to go lower. It's just that simple. Alrighty, that's what I got for you. I'll be back here tomorrow morning. We'll do it all over again. Trade what's in front of you, not what you want.